I'm Deborah Shipley. Welcome to the REcolorado MLS podcast, where we talk all things MLS and how they fit into the real estate industry. On this episode, we'll be interviewing Costa Ntoukas, the CEO and co-founder of BrokerBay. Hello and welcome to this episode of the REcolorado Podcast. We are thrilled to have in our studio, live and in person today, Costa Ntoukas, who is the founder and CEO of BrokerBay. He has come here all the way from Toronto, Canada, and he's joined by Cameron, who we adore here on the REcolorado staff. They are here to talk to REcolorado subscribers across the service territory about all of the great enhancements that they have put in place since they've launched the product. We're really excited to have them, and we'll talk about those enhancements. But first, I want to welcome Costa.
Hello.
Hi, Costa. It's great to have you here. So, Costa, I thought it would be great to talk a little bit about why you started BrokerBay. I know you were a agent or a realtor at one time in Canada. So, what inspired you to start developing a product and a showing service in particular?
Yeah, so I've been a licensed broker for 15 years. I got my real estate license when I was 18. And my father was a broker for 30 years, but I never really started practicing real estate until about 5 or 6 years ago, or 5 or 6 years before I started BrokerBay. I was always doing entrepreneurial ventures without getting like too deep into it, like multiple failed projects after failed projects. And then eventually I started selling real estate while at the same time having just moved in with now one of my best friends and my co-founder, who's a very talented engineer. And as soon as we were together, like the ideas started flowing, and it made a lot of sense to start building BrokerBay.
Well, and we're really glad you did start building BrokerBay. When I first took a look at BrokerBay, it seemed like it was just much more than a showing platform. You all had a bigger vision. Can you talk about like where did that bigger vision come from, and why did you? It's much more than just making appointments. Yes.
Yeah. So BrokerBay, when we first started, didn't even do appointments. It was never like, we didn't even have the concept of doing appointments. It was originally supposed to be an intranet system to support certain functions of a brokerage. And as we progressed down like certain operational efficiencies that we were creating for brokerages, then we noticed that like, hey, there's a huge opportunity with showings. And we now have created that as the foundation of the product, but this was always intended to be an ecosystem of different operational efficiencies for brokerages. And now showings is a big part of that, but it's not the end of where we're going to be going with this.
Yeah, and it's a really great platform for helping offices keep in touch with one another, right? And isn't the administrative part of the system really superior?
Yeah, so the way we started even showing management is we looked at what are all of the operations within a brokerage and where can we add more efficiency to them. So we first started off just with communications. It was a chat system. We had some automated notifications going around. And then we saw, okay, let's now go to appointments, because we saw that there's lots of room for improvements with how appointments are being booked and how old some of the systems in place currently are that we can then improve on. But as we continue down this roadmap, we're now looking at things like document management and e-signature and offers. And so we're just moving down all of the components of the transaction and trying to see where we can add value.
You know what I think is really cool is when we first started really working with you was during COVID, and you already had the virtual tour and the 3D tour functionality already in place. How did you have the foresight to know that needed to be?
So it seems like we had it in place before, but that was one of the most amazing projects we worked on, because we worked on it on the first 2 weeks that COVID started, because we saw showings drop off like 90%. So we were obviously very scared. Our clients were very scared. And that was one of the most amazing moments that I've ever seen our team collaborate, because in a period of 2 weeks, we theorized, designed, developed, and deployed a completely new novel technology, which is the interactive virtual showing system we have. And I was just like, that to me was the first time where I realized like, wow, that's how quickly and aggressively we can build new features as opportunities arise. So yeah, it seems like it was before COVID, but it was within 2 weeks of COVID we built and launched that feature.
Well, you pulled the wool over my eyes on that one. That's amazing, that entrepreneurial spirit. So here's something else folks might not know. You're actually owned by a air conditioner company. Now, you weren't when we started working with you, but there were announcements that went out that you were purchased by Carrier. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Our offices are freezing now, I'll tell you. Yeah, so obviously there was a lot of, we grew rapidly in Canada, and we were trying to enter the US market, but we really didn't have an opportunity to until that kind of big news with our competitor and being acquired. And as soon as that happened, we obviously signed up REcolorado and had this amazing growth trajectory in the US. And we ended up getting on the radar of a lot of companies. And we actually got multiple offers to be acquired, which we turned down until we heard from the folks at Carrier, who are also the parent company of Supra, the largest electronic lockbox company in the US, 1 point something million agents on their system, and that seems to be growing as well. And when you start to look at the synergies between lockboxes and showings, at the end of the day, there are two sides of the same coin. And so when we were approached by Carrier, the owner of Supra, we saw that as an opportunity to sell into their vast network of agents, which has proven to be a correct thought, because we've now grown from 80,000 agents when REcolorado first signed up to, I think we have over 270,000 agents signed now, with absolutely no sign of that slowing down. So definitely the right acquisition partner, who held the interests of our clients at heart as well, and are continuing to serve the realtor community. So.
Well, and talking about lockboxes is a great segue into the enhancements that you've made to the BrokerBay system since it was introduced in the REcolorado market. And so tell us about those lockbox enhancements, because our market primarily uses SentryLock, and you've made some changes there to make those two systems work really seamlessly together. Yes.
So and yeah, just to and you already know this, but just to say it again. So BrokerBay is completely agnostic to lockbox systems. We will work with obviously Supra, we will work with SentryLock, we will work with MasterLock, and all the major brands. And yeah, so one of the reasons we were acquired was because of how efficiently we were dealing with electronic lockbox integrations, and how much we have been improving over what the status quo has been in the industry. So yeah, every time we've entered a different SentryLock market, like REcolorado perhaps, we uniquely look at what are the challenges that this market faces with however they're accessing properties, and we try to tailor our integration with these lockbox providers to meet the needs of that particular market. So we had a great integration with SentryLock in Canada, but then we actually have adjusted it now significantly for the REcolorado market to make it as smooth as possible for members. And yeah, the feedback in the last few months since some of the recent changes has been pretty incredible.
Mm-hmm. We're getting a lot of feedback on that. The 1-day codes,
yeah,
those are working great now. So that's just wonderful. And speaking of feedback, you've gotten a lot of feedback from REcolorado subscribers, and really used our market to roll out a lot of great enhancements to BrokerBay. I know that Costa, you talk to brokers from our market almost on a daily basis to just get that feedback and try to continue to help that product evolve for today's marketplace. Can you tell us about a couple of the most exciting enhancements that you've made?
Yeah, so when we first signed REcolorado, the day the signature was signed to when we first started having our onboarding meetings to where we are today, the platform is unrecognizable in terms of the changes and adjustments we've made. We went through this, first and foremost, this rigorous process with the REcolorado team to get feedback on some of the adjustments and changes that we needed to make to launch our first US customer. But then once we actually went to market and we had the agents actually get their hands on it, we had a laundry list of about, and this is a huge learning experience for us and a huge learning experience for our customers, but we probably had a laundry list of 200 plus things that we needed to do to give REcolorado members the exact system that they needed to be efficient. And I think, as you know, last week, we've now finally completed that vast laundry list. When we first launched with REcolorado, the first thing we heard members say is, we want to be able to schedule multiple showings at once, because our current company could do that. And so we took that seriously, and we ended up developing what is now the most modern and intuitive version of what we call BrokerBay Tours, where you can schedule and book multiple showings at once. REcolorado members told us that we need all of these very granular enhancements to the way we need to book showings and things we can do when we do that. And yeah, we've launched, I don't want to sit here and talk for an hour about all the features we've launched, but we have added an immense amount of functionality in the last 3 or 4 months.
And I'll tell you, I was out, we were both out at an event earlier this week, and I heard so much positive feedback from folks who, just said it's different than maybe what we're used to, but if you just take a look at a couple of videos, it really comes easily, and the system, really just is so intuitively designed that it becomes really easy to use. And I'll tell you, the other thing I get some great feedback on now is the customer support that you're offering. Was that brought about by the carrier acquisition or made possible by that?
Well, obviously now that we've been acquired, we have a lot more resources to continue to grow and scale our services and our offering. But when we had 70,000 agents, however many, a year and a half ago, we could manage support in a certain way. And since growing to 270,000 plus agents, we've now had to reevaluate how we're supporting our members. And phone support has become a milestone that we've been looking to achieve for quite some time. And we've now done that with REcolorado. So we now offer, obviously through our call center, 24/7, 365 phone calls for anyone that needs help, whether it's for an appointment. And we also now have an amazing escalation process for any REcolorado members that need to speak with someone immediately to fix their problems. So yeah, it's been a huge transition, learning how to set all of that up at scale, but we're now getting incredible feedback from it.
Well, and speaking of scale, what are your next steps with BrokerBay?
So that's a very big question, and we have a lot of directions that we're going in, but we're at the point right now where we've perfected the product for the U.S. market. It's been a long time coming, and we owe all of that to REcolorado because they've helped massage the system as we learn what we need to learn throughout that process. We're now by far the second largest showing management service in the U.S., and the goal right now is to very quickly become the first. So that's we're on a warpath to meet new MLSs, continue evolving the product, and become the market leader in the U.S.
Wow, that's really exciting.
Yeah.
That's really exciting to hear. And I know you're continuing your presence in Colorado as well. And Costa and I, just before we jumped into the studio, we're talking about the fact that BrokerBay will even have presence at the Colorado Association of Realtors conference.
Yes.
So we're excited to see you there. So Costa, as you prepare to head back to Toronto later this afternoon, what do you think are the biggest differences between, how you've rolled out BrokerBay in Canada versus how you're rolling it out in the United States? I mean, you've had several successful launches now in the United States.
So Canada was very grassroots. In Canada, when we first launched the business, and it was just me and my business partner, I'd go door to door and just beg people to sign up one by one to BrokerBay. And we got to 50% of the market, one brokerage at a time, before we had some of the largest MLSs sign up in Canada, like the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board, 75,000 members. We had already organically signed brokerage by brokerage, like 60% of them, I think. Obviously, as we continue to scale, we can't go brokerage to brokerage anymore. And so now changing our sales strategy to go into markets and sell at the MLS level has been an amazing experience. And that is our only mission now, is to sell at the MLS level. So it's been a wild ride learning how to do such big RFP level deals compared to meeting with mom and pop brokerages on the daily.
But the cool thing about that product, at least in my opinion, is that the advantages at the brokerage level, that's really what sells it at the larger level. I mean, the connections that you create among agents, the seamless communication, the dashboards that you have.
And that's one of the biggest fundamental differences. People always ask me, what is the difference between BrokerBay and some of our competitors? And a lot of our competitors, all of our competitors, when they approach their products, they're always approaching them from an agent-first perspective, which is amazing because obviously we need to support the agents. But the foundation of BrokerBay is a brokerage-first system that then engages with the agents of that brokerage. And we've created a network of brokerages using BrokerBay as opposed to agents using BrokerBay. And so when using our system, you'll see that it's from an information architecture perspective, it's very brokerage first, which makes a lot of sense when you enter a system like BrokerBay.
And I know you have a lot of so we'll end by talking about the great enhancements you have coming up. There are a couple that I know that our subscribers are really excited about. One, more enhanced statistics and reporting that'll be coming up. And then also making the BrokerBay app as well as the BrokerBay platform available to any REcolorado subscriber to book a showing. And those will be coming down the road next couple of weeks.
Yeah, so we're making some minor enhancements to analytics before we actually launch our completely new analytics platform in the next few months. We've completely re-envisioned how we believe agents and brokerages alike will want to be pulling stats and reports for neighborhoods and whatnot. So super excited to announce that soon. One of the huge things that we learned as a brokerage-first showing management system is initially when we launched REcolorado, if your brokerage wasn't participating, you couldn't use the system. And that was a huge loss of exposure for us to the agents of REcolorado that maybe want to see our system before their brokerage actually signs up. So coming out in the next couple of weeks, as an REcolorado agent, you're going to have access to our system to look around, book appointments, and use our mobile app even before your brokerage makes the decision to join. And then I think that's going to be a huge opportunity for everyone to see, like, wow, like this is what BrokerBay is all about and why we should get excited about it.
Well, agree. And we will certainly keep putting information on our REcolorado blog, blog.recolorado.com. We'll make sure that it's continually updated with BrokerBay information, reports on the newest enhancements, and all of the enhancements that Costa and his team have made are available on that blog. If you're looking for more information, either listening or watching, you can find it all on the professionals blog on REcolorado. One last question for you, Costa. Tell us, I know you've been out and about in Denver as you've been around. I sent you down to Rhino, and I know you're going for a hike later today. What's been the thing that's been the most fun? I mean, other than talking to us and our subscribers, what have you done that's been fun?
So obviously going to Rhino was amazing, but I have to say the best thing that I've done in Colorado since being here is I visited a place called Topgolf. And I had no idea something like this could even exist. We do not have Topgolf in Canada, folks. So do not take Topgolf for granted. It is an amazing establishment. So shout outs to Topgolf for making an amazing experience.
And the seats are even heated for the winter.
The whole thing was just wild. Yeah,
that's great.
I'm going to try to get in there before we go again today.
All right. Well, the next time we'll have to, take you out to Topgolf if you're here.
Please.
Thanks so much for joining us and being here and talking about BrokerBay. And we will talk to you again soon.
Can't wait to be back. Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you.